Hi everyone, it's Marie here from Peartree Cutfiles. Welcome back to my channel. I'm playing around today with the brand new project pack from Peartree Cutfiles called Green Fingers. And today I'm using elements from the acrylics. I'm using one of the cut files available in the project pack, and I'm using the stencil as well. And I'm using the Simple Stories Life in Bloom collection. Full Bloom? Life in Bloom collection. Sorry, they have so many collections, you can never remember the names of them. There was this beautiful green paper in that collection. I understand it's pink on the back, but it's green on the other side. And I'm going to use that to back my cut file. The cut file is going to be the main feature of the page. Although I do think for a while about having it on some patterned paper. I do change my mind in the end. I have decided to leave in my backing of my cut file process here. This is me doing it. There's lots of ways you can back a cut file. So you can either take your glue gun, your bottle of glue, and put glue on the back of all the letters that need backing, stick it down onto a piece of cardstock, and then fussy cut around the letters. Or you can do what I've done here, which is to take the inner letters from the cut file that cut out when your machine cuts it. I do send those with all pre-cut orders as well, so you'll always have those inner letters. Trace around them on the back of the sheet of paper, so you have to turn the letter upside down and then trace round them, and then fussy cut round those. That makes it much easier because then you can just do what I'm doing here, which is to trace round the outside of the letter with your glue gun. I call it a glue gun, it's because I'm using the precision glue gun at the moment, and then just pop the letter on. Really, really simple. When you trace round them and then you go to cut round them, you must just remember as you cut round them to leave a gap between your pencil line and where you're cutting, so there's that little bit of overlap in order to allow you to be able to stick it down onto the back of the cut file. And there you go. There is the occasion where you have to go round the edge of the cut file and just quickly trim off any extra little bits that are sticking out, but it's not usually much. I'm going to back the plant pot now with some craft cardstock, because that will match one of the little plant pots in the project pack, and it fits nicely with the colours of the photograph as well. And then I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of green and pop it on the back of these leaves. This is the fussy cutting method that I mean. So I've stuck those on. I've now got to trim round them in situ. But it's dead easy. As long as you don't put too much glue on, it's dead easy. I did contemplate putting this cut file straight onto some patterned paper, as you can see here. And I play around for quite a while with this idea because these papers are beautiful. And it does look really nice, but actually it didn't feel quite right, and I knew it. So I've moved on to something else while I just contemplate what I'm going to do. The thing that I'm doing here then is colouring in the rest of the cut file with some Distress Oxides. So I'm just using a very, very fine blending brush. These are like pencil-sized blending brushes, and they're great for detail work like this. So I'm literally going to colour in the and is my, and I think I do place as well. I do all of the words in this colour, basically to make them stand out from whatever cardstock this cut file is going to end up on, whether it ends up on patterned or whether it ends up on white. These little words, I want them to stand out. So colouring them in. I am using Rustic Wilderness here. Absolutely my favourite colour. I'm going to probably need to buy a re-inker for this soon because I've used so much of this colour. And this is working so well to make everything sort of stand out. I'm being very careful not to colour in the outer edges of the words garden and happy. I'm being really careful to draw some very, very neat lines there. And it goes on very quickly. It doesn't take long. Yes, this is sped up, but it doesn't take long to do this. And it's a great technique to make your words stand out. Almost done. Changing between different brush sizes depending on the bit that I'm doing, and also trying to make sure that I have now not got green ink on my fingers because I'm holding the cut file down. And I don't want to put a big blob of green in the middle. But can you see how much better those words stand out now they've been coloured? I have therefore decided, as you've seen, the pattern paper has gone, and instead of the pattern paper we are now going to just focus on having the cut file and the photos on white cardstock. I wasn't planning on this, but this has now become the focus of this page, is to use a frame. I love these frames. I think the chipboard frames that come with the sets from Simple Stories are absolutely brilliant. I never know how to use them. I've got a ton of them in my drawer. I never use photographs that are that big. They are quite large. I have in the past turned a whole packet of them into a mini album. That worked really well. But I'm not a big mini album person. I don't do many of them. But as I was kind of looking through the collection to see what was there, the black really struck me because there's a tiny bit of green on there. And it just worked. The minute I saw it, I knew that was what was going to be perfect for this page. And actually what I end up doing is framing all 4 photographs within the frame. I know they don't fit, and yes, there's white gaps around them, but that doesn't matter. It frames them, it gives them a really clear focus. It's one way of using a really big frame and really small photographs. You could do it with 2 photographs. You don't necessarily need to use 4. I just happen to have 4. Again, Elliot helping in the garden. I love all the photographs I've got of him helping in our garden. And it just worked perfectly to kind of slot all of those in together. And it really helped draw your eye to the photos on the page. Right now, I am going through, I've just been through the papers. I've backed the one photograph that's going to go on that tag that I found, the green tag. I've backed that in black just to help that pop. And I'm now going through the papers with the butterflies on, different bits of ephemera there, because I'm fussy cutting a whole load of the butterflies. It's specifically the green, the pale green, a little bit of the turquoisey coloured butterfly that I would really like to include on this page. I think they're exactly the right colour, exactly what the page needs. So don't make you watch me fussy cut all of those butterflies, because I do an awful lot of them. But I have decided this is exactly where everything's going. I do not need to wait and change my mind again. So I've just used some red line tape to glue, or to attach, should I say, the cut file to the frame where it's going to overlap. Because it does say take the photo on the frame. I don't need that. So I've just stuck that down. And now I'm going to use the stencil here to stencil in a little bit of a fence, because Elliot is working in front of the fence. I thought that would be a great idea. Now what I do with my stencil is I stencil once and then I offset the stencil slightly to one side by about 2 millimeters, and then stencil over it again. It makes it look 3D. Hopefully you'll see that better on the close-up photographs towards the end of the video. And then I decided to put some little bits of grass in here as well. I am using masking tape to hold down my stencil. I just don't want it to move around. And just keep putting that cut file and frame back on the page to make sure that I've got things in the position that I want them. And I'm not stenciling in a completely pointless place where it's not going to be seen. Now, not all of it's going to be seen, that's for certain. But little bits of it popping out there are perfect. The grass works really well, by the way, on the stencil. You can overlap it really, really easily and make a nice long section of grass if that's what you want to do at the bottom of yours. Now, lots of adhesive foam pads, and then some adhesive foam pads chopped in half because they were too wide otherwise. So just sticking all of those down to give it some dimension. I'm going all the way around the frame and all on the letters. Now I do avoid some of the frame at this point, and I don't peel the backing off the bits I've stuck on the frame, simply because I need to be able to still pop those photographs in and move those around and get those into the exact position that I want them. So I'm just playing around with making sure this is in exactly the right place. Grab my ruler. I still don't think I get it quite straight, but never mind. It doesn't need to be perfect. The wheelbarrow is the absolute perfect addition to this page, because Elliot is shoveling a load of soil. I forget why. This was when we first moved into our house. He was shoveling a whole load of soil everywhere, having a whale of a time. So that's what he's doing there. So I thought the wheelbarrow was perfect. I decided to fussy cut this butterfly on this tag so that I can actually tuck the photograph in behind it and we don't lose the butterfly, because it's so pretty. Dead pleased with that. Grabbed a little bit of ribbon. Don't use a huge amount of ribbon on my layouts anymore, but the odd bit here and there definitely has its place. That there is, I've just used my tiny attacher from Tim Holtz, the mini stapler, just to fasten the ribbon on. And I'm just playing around now by popping some repositionable tape on the back of the photos and wiggling them around, making sure they're in exactly the right position before I properly pressed them down. That was me just removing the extra little pads from behind the rest of the frame. Now the photographs are sort of situated and I'm happy where they're going, I no longer need to worry about those, and I can actually attach it on properly. Another bit of ribbon. That is another tag I've tucked in there, but obviously I decided to put it in after the event, so I've just cut the tag down and tucked the top of the tag in. That's all that really needs to be there. Playing around now with flare, trying to decide which ones are going to go on and what bits of ephemera are going to go where on this page. I have put the gloves there, and I have put two different flare badges on so far, but they may end up moving around as I choose different ones that I felt fit better. Now, the 3 flare that I do actually use there are not from the project pack, so I do apologise for that. They are another set from the shop. They just fit better for me on my page, and I was much happier with the colours and the way that they work together for that particular page. I'm going to use one of the little tools there, the little rake from the project pack. So cute, that little rake. They've got little separate little handles to the rest of the tools so that they're in 2 different colours. They look so cute. I'm going to put my little gardening gloves in there as well, just tucked into the frame, and lots of little butterflies. I do love these words that are in like the typewriter key. They look like typewriter keys, but unfortunately when I put it on, it just looked a little bit too much. I just didn't feel it needed it, so didn't pop those on. Having a look through the rub-ons now in the collection, I found a nice big butterfly that I'm going to tuck in up at the top. As I always say in my videos, this is my favourite part, playing around with all the different bits and adding in those last little details, because for me that's what makes it. I like that word, memories. I am sticking to my colour scheme quite closely here, so really I'm sticking to the greens, little bits of browny green in there, but mainly greens. I do like a clear colour scheme. It's just the way I work best. Some people do rainbow colours and combine colours so well. I prefer to stay with sort of one or 2 or 3 colours. So this is a little technique I like to do. Choose the stickers that you want out of the sticker book, stick them onto white card and then trim around them. I just find it easier to position them. It makes them a little bit more sturdy, especially the ones that come out of the sticker books. And it also means you can move them around before you decide exactly where you're going to put them, because you've not stuck them down, you've stuck them to white cardstock. Now these were funny, because I've stuck these flare onto a shiny chipboard frame, they keep sliding around when I put the glossy accents on. So I kept having to go back to them and push them back into the right place to make sure they stayed. So just be aware of that if you do stick flare down or acrylic onto anything, onto a shiny surface, that it could move around. So just propping up my butterflies. So I tend to stick down either the middle or one wing of a butterfly and then prop up the other so it looks like it's taking off. I love the way that looks. Just going to do the rub on. Almost forgot that wasn't just a piece of ephemera, that it actually needed sticking down. And then I forgot to stick that tag down as well, so just pop that one back in. Extra little sticky pads on the other butterflies I'm popping on the page, and onto that little word memories as well on my title. Really happy with how this is turning out so far. Decided to pop a couple of little veggies. Or do I? Have I taken that back off again? I thought I left that on. Obviously I took that back off. Maybe it's a little snail that ends up, yeah, it's a little snail. I thought I left the veggies on. I think I end up using them on my greenhouse layout. So again, just going back through, this little sticker book here that I've got to the side is actually the Full Bloom collection, and this one is now the Spring Garden collection. So I'm just picking through, looking for things related to gardening and things related that are green. So I used to have a real thing about mixing collections, and I didn't like doing it. I didn't want to sort of, I don't know, mess my layout up by mixing collections together. I've got much better at it recently, and I'll do what works now, and I don't mind if this is from this collection and this is from that collection. I've kind of got over myself a little bit with that one, but yeah, I used to absolutely hate mixing things up. Quite enjoy it now. The little sticker going under memories. Not going to pop that little sign in, felt that was too big, because I'm pretty happy with that, and I think it's just about done. I don't think it needs anything else. There's plenty of interest and plenty of different things to look at on there. Thank you ever so much for watching today. All the details are in the description box below for this project pack and all the project packs we do at Peartree. There's a huge variety now on the website that you can purchase. Each one comes with cut files, stencil, bits, pieces and flair. There's a whole load of stuff that you can use to make some beautiful layouts, and each one of them come with example layouts that you can create yourself as well. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please do give us a like, drop us a comment if you've got the time, and subscribe if you don't already. I'd love to have you here. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.